The October 6, 2025 St. Clair Shores City Council meeting to order. Abby, please call the roll.
Mayor Walby?
Here.
Councilmember Burgess?
Here.
Councilmember Karen?
Here.
Councilmember Frederick?
Present.
Councilmember Rubello?
Present.
Councilmember Rusi?
Here.
And Councilmember Vitale.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 2 is proclamations, and we have proclamations presentations. We have one proclamation to the Yardners of St. Clair Shores. If those ladies would like to come on up, and I'll come down here. Welcome you. Lori right here. You're right here, and then you got a crew with you, and
To back me up.
oh yeah, never know when you need help, right? So I'm going to read you guys the proclamation, and then we're going to give you, Lori, the mic, and then you can introduce everybody and talk a little bit about the Yardners. How's that?
Okay, yep.
Proclamation for the Yardners of St. Clair Shores. Whereas in 1993, a group of residents who like gardening and making environmental, earth-friendly gardening possible funded the Yardners of St. Clair Shores. The Yardners promote the use of native plants, create wildlife habitats, composting, and integrated pest management to minimize the use of harmful chemicals. Whereas the Yardners are master gardeners who have maintained the grounds of the Selinsky Greenhouse Farmhouse Museum for over 30 years. The Master Gardeners complete a training course and fulfill a volunteer service requirement administered to the Cooperative Extension System of land-grant universities, which in Michigan is the Michigan State University Extension Program. This year, the Yardners celebrated the 32nd Annual Garden Tour, a self-guided walking tour of some St. Clair Shores' most creative and beautiful gardens to encourage both community beautification and local conservation. The tour showcases local yards and provides an opportunity to get gardening ideas from homeowners and master gardeners. Over the years, the Yardners have added their native plant sale in the spring, the plant exchange in the fall, as well as informative presentations to their annual activities to the benefit of the residents of St. Clair Shores. Now therefore, the Mayor and Council of the City of St. Clair Shores, on behalf of all our residents, extend our sincere appreciation and thanks to the Yardners of St. Clair Shores for their dedicated hard work and their continuous contributions and services to our community, and wish them many years of success in the future. Congratulations for what you do for the community. We appreciate it. We'll introduce everyone.
Hi. This is Laurel. This is
Poor thing.
Linda, Jenny, and Terry. God, I'm going blank here. Don't ask me for their last names. I don't even know my last name now. So I've only been with the Yardners since about 2008, but they started in August of '94 with their first garden tour.
You know, that's 17 years, so that is quite a while, you know, just so you know, it's not like it's yesterday. Okay, continue.
Yeah. I moved into St. Clair Shores in '99, so this was before I came. The Yardners were founded in March of 1994. Some of them were looking for a way to get their master gardener hours, so that's why they planned their first garden tour. They held the educational sessions for the public, and they wanted to promote healthy gardening practices. There was 4 gardens on the first garden tour. We usually have anywhere between 5 and 6 gardens every year. The garden tour is always the first Saturday in August. We also have started doing some native plant sales in the spring, have a vendor come here and sell for us. And then we also have plant exchanges in the fall, and we're talking about doing one in the spring, this coming spring. We work on the Selinsky Green Farmhouse Gardens, and the Yardners began that in 1996 and continues to this day. And Ginny has been heading up that task and getting people to volunteer with her to come and help in the garden. And there's apple trees in there, so they all have to be taken care of, even the kitchen garden and all that.
Sure.
Anybody else want to talk? No?
So again, we want to thank you for all you do. I know it's a passion for you, right? Anyone that
Yes.
is part of the Yardners has got to be a passion in their life to be part of this and to dedicate themselves to being master gardeners. So we appreciate all the work you've done at Selinsky Green, just not you, but all the people in the past who have helped make this place special. So it's our museum in the city, so we really appreciate it. So thank you for all you do. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Item 3 is audience participation on agenda items, a 2-minute time limit for items, to speak on items in front of us this evening. Abby, are there any? Hold on just 1 second, I don't like that in front of me. Thanks, John. And before we go to item 4, Mayor Pro Tem Rebello, thank you for filling in for me. I appreciate that. I was on a little vacation, so I played a little golf with my son, so I enjoyed it. I appreciate you filling in for me. I know not only here, but you had a couple other ones you did for me, so thank you.
Experience of a lifetime, thank you.
Item 4, request to appeal the Water Resources Board approval case of 08-2025 to repair the existing hoist structure only. Yes, sir. Come on up. How are you this evening?
I'm well, thank you. And I want to thank the mayor and the council and Mr. Erie for affording me the opportunity to speak for my own behalf. So I know everybody's put in a long day, so if you would be kind enough to turn to probably the 3rd page in your packet, which is
Dr. Hannah, you're just,
I'm sorry,
say your name?
it's William Hanna.
Okay. Yeah, you're the homeowner there on Jefferson.
Correct.
All right, doctor.
All right, thank you. So if you would be kind enough to turn to, would be 3rd page in your packet, and there should be a picture there of the,
Right, we have it up there, I think.
oh, all right. Thank you. So this is the request, the reason for the variance.
Doctor, talk right in that mic if you don't mind. Thank you.
A little better?
There you go, a lot
All right,
better.
thank you. So I'm asking for a minimal deviation from the current ordinance. There's a property line to the property to the north. The current, prior ordinance was 5 feet from the property line. The current ordinance is 10 feet from the property line. So I'm asking for this 5-foot variance so that I don't have to move the whole dock structure over to the south 5 feet.
Right.
It just would, the entire dock wouldn't be practical, and it'd be a tremendous financial hardship. I don't ever see it happening that way.
Okay.
And so, it doesn't, have any negative impact on the neighboring properties, public safety, or environmental safety. And so I would like the council to, support me on this minimal variance.
Sure, okay. Councilman Karen?
Thank you. Matt, could you bring up the overhead there? Yeah. So I think the main issue here is, I remember Denise and I, we talked about this a few months ago, I think, when this first came up, is the reason for the 10 feet is if you're abutting another potential dock or hoist next door, right? But I think with this property, it's unique because the property that you have, it's the teal there, you have your dock out there at the end, there's no way it's going to be right next to one because of the other property being so far set back.
Correct.
And that, so with that, Mayor, I make a motion to approve the appeal.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Karen, supported by Ms. Burgess. Mr. Vitale?
Yeah,
I'm going to be in favor of this too, but actually, just wanted to go on record that there is also a neighboring property. You submitted a letter.
Well, oh, yes, that's my neighbor to the south.
And, you know, he's voiced the idea that he doesn't even want your dock closer to him. So,
You know,
I think in a case like this, I mean, first of all, I would give it to you just on what Councilman Karen said, but in addition to that, you've got the neighboring property saying, we like it better this way.
yeah,
So-
so, yeah, he's a good neighbor, and he was just said, that, you know, there's just no reason to move it. It doesn't really impact anything.
Okay, well, I'll be voting in support.
Moved by Mr. Karen, supported by Ms. Burgess to approve the appeal. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Doctor, take care. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Item 5, bids, contracts, purchase orders, request to award the Alexander Water Main Replacement Contract. City Engineer Mike Freckleton.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are looking to do a project on Alexander Street between Little Mac and Harper, and this project would be upgrading the existing 1920s cast iron water main to a new 8-inch, PVC or HDPE main. This is part of the bigger scope of work on this project, which is the sewer separation project, which would then be followed by a road reconstruction. So we're looking to just upgrade the water main in this, stretch of street while we're doing the rest of those projects. We opened 14 bids for this project, which was great. And after reviewing the bids and references, we are recommending to go with Murphy Pipeline Contractors, who is the second lowest bid. The low bidder, Superior Contracting, they did not really provide many references for water main projects. The references we did get were, hey, they were okay, not good, not great. Nothing particularly reassuring for the lack of number of references. We consulted with Hennessy, our engineering consultant, and they work with Murphy Pipeline a lot in their downriver communities. They know they can perform winter work in a timely manner. So just given all those factors, we wanted to go with Murphy Pipeline, the second low bidder.
Yeah, just on a side note, I mean, that's a lot of bids. I mean,
That is a lot of bids,
It does seem like
yes.
we're getting more bids on some of this contract
Yeah.
work and cement work, et cetera. Are you seeing that, John, out there?
We are. Usually, a project like this, Michael, we get 3,
5 maybe,
Five.
yeah.
So there's people looking for work, or companies
Yeah.
looking for work, it seems to be. Good, good.
I think it's going to be better for all the communities, to be able to get a little bit back to normal pricing.
Good. Mr. Rebello.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, that's impressive, getting that many bids. So I'm not sure what you guys did different or if you did the same thing, but it's great to see that. Mr. Freckleton, I guess the first thing, again, is I might want to reiterate something that you said about the second lowest bidder, because what's your thinking on that? Because it's a little bit of a difference, and I would like, again, just to hear with my own ears, why the second lowest bidder again?
Sure. So the low bidder, after verifying references and, speaking to other individuals that I know kind of within the community that have worked with them before, just not a lot of reassuring things to say. Again, they provided maybe 1 to 2 references for water main work. And again, neither of those references were really particularly glowing. Nothing to really sell us on using them for a project that has a not a tight timeline, but a pretty hard timeline because of the project that follows it. So we just want to make sure that, to the best of our ability, that things go off without a hitch. So go with someone that we
This is
trust a little
obviously-
bit more.
I'm sorry, this is obviously like a major project, so.
Yes.
I just want to make sure, you guys are pretty knowledgeable on all this stuff. City Manager, Mr. Lenton, you concur with the second lowest bidder?
I do. I've met with Mike and we went over some of the questions. We made sure that we even contracted some of our other engineering firms. As you guys know, we have 3 engineering firms, and even reached out to some of our other engineering firms to see if they've actually worked with this individual company. And as Mike has said, we are very happy going with the second lowest bidder.
Okay, and John,
Yep.
just a simple nod of the, you concur,
They
okay.
have 15 water main projects, the second low bid.
Well, okay,
All they
that's,
do is directional drilling.
thank you, Mayor.
That was a good point. Ms. Rusi?
Thank you. The water main that this will be replacing is from 1928.
Yes,
So.
97.
That's crazy. So no, thank you for being proactive, identifying this as a good project to get done in relation to the other work that we want to do, like the separation project there. That makes a lot of sense. And even though that this is being funded from the local water main replacement account, I was a little confused going through some of the documentation provided from the bidder calling Eagle a funding authority, but that's due to the larger project. This is part of the separation,
Yes.
correct? So
Yes.
even though this portion is local water main, it's part of the bigger, broader one being funded by the grant.
Correct.
Okay. And thank you also for being, I guess I'll use the word proactive again, reaching out and checking the recommendations and things like that. Sounds like that the first lowest bidder may not have the requisite amount of experience with this type of project. We know I'm
Correct.
going to cite something some of the older timers up here, the 10-mile project, where we went with a company that we weren't sure we were getting a lot of confirmation from our engineer and our engineering firm. Oh, no, go with this company. They got 2 guys who can do it, but they don't have a lot of experience yet. No, they got 2 guys, and it ended up being a bad decision. So thank you for not getting us in that type of position again, potentially, especially given that this is a part of a larger project as well. So, no, I totally concur with going with the second lowest on this one for the issues with the, I think Dave wants me to make the motion.
said it
Those were the issues with
Appreciate it.
with the potential responsiveness issues with the lowest bidder. I concur going with the second lowest, and I will make that a motion.
Support.
Thank you.
I think Dave's trying to move things along.
No, I think he's trying to take my job. All of a sudden, he's trying to push the thing.
He liked it so much last meeting.
Agreed.
I noticed you took away his gavel proactively. I wonder why.
We're smart over here, and that was supported by Mr. Frederick. Mr. Vitale?
Yeah, since we are timing this with the wastewater separation, and this is a horizontal boring replacement, how will those two interact with each other? Is the
I mean,
the
ideally,
separation
they don't
project,
interact at all.
Is that a street cut to do the,
Yes, they'll have to open cut the street for that, again, get rid of the road, so the road will be reconstructed afterwards. That will be a very invasive project, but the water main will be minimally invasive leading into that, so.
Yeah, that kind of
Okay.
the water main comes first. So we're going to do, the water main will be completely
Yeah.
done over the winter. It'll be completely finished before we then move on to phase 2 of the project, which would then be the sewer.
where does the water main on the street, where does it lay? Is it in the street? Or is it under sidewalk, or?
It's underneath the curb on the north side of the street.
Okay. I mean, I would imagine there's additional expense to the horizontal drilling.
It's actually, the drilling is cheaper than open cut excavating and again, much less invasive to the
But aren't we
area
open
around
cut
it, so.
excavating for the stormwater project?
Yes, but those are 2 different things. We can't separating the sanitary sewer and then installing new storm sewer. New storm sewer can't really be done via drilling. It's shorter sections of pipe, it's concrete
Well,
pipe.
I know that's got to be an open cut. I guess my question is, we're going to have the street completely ripped out for the sewer project, the storm sewer project.
So the water main, I think, to piggyback off of, to kind of help here too, the water main is not going back in the same location because it's right by where the storm sewer is. So that's why they're doing a directional drill. The current water main is going to stay active. So
Okay.
as a winter construction, it's not going to have the pipe above where we're going to have to worry about freezing. They'll be able to utilize the old water main that is there. There'll be a brand new water line being put in, then be disconnected from the current one, connected to the new one, Then when we do the open cut, it'll be at a whole new direction and area when they go and we get the money. The
Well,
next part of the.
that explains it.
Yes.
Yeah, the scope of the scope of the storm sewer project and that open cutting is not,
In the same area.
yeah, the water main's going to be outside of that area.
That's what
So,
I
yes,
wanted to know.
got it.
I know what you're looking
He works with me more. Just for the residents at home, so they have some idea too, the low bid was about 140,000 cheaper than
Correct.
where we're at, but the second low bid is kind of where everything starts to pack together. So they're at $1,015,000, the next is $1,057,000, $1,077,000, $1.1 million, and we've got all the way up to 1.6 million. So I also feel better about this too, because at $140,000 less, and then you have 15 other bidders that are above
Yes.
$1 million. You're kind of wondering, where's that coming from?
And our estimate for the project was around 1.1, so we're still below that as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, well below it, actually. I mean, so I'll vote to approve.
Thank you.
Moved by Ms. Rusi and supported by Mr. Frederick to award the Alexander Water Main Replacement Project to Murphy Pipeline Contractors, right, in the amount of $1,117,343. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 7-0. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, council.
Item B, 5B, is request to approve the purchase of the DPW concrete breaker. DPW Director Brian Babcock.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I have two items, two purchases that were both included in the fiscal year '26 budget. The first item is a concrete breaker, which actually it attaches to our backhoe excavators. Anytime we have to dig underneath the street, we use this item first to break up the concrete to make it easier to remove that concrete. So this is to replace a 2001 model. It is based off of a My Deal state contract, and the purchase price is $18,047.
Ms. Rusi?
Thank you. We probably want to correct the PO. We're right now just checking box if applicable. It says other than it just states the thing we're purchasing. It should have an extra other entity bid with the My Deal pricing.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Frederick?
Thanks, Mayor. First off, thanks for the color picture.
Yeah.
I was very excited to see color in our cover sheet. Very good. And, like the next one you've got coming up after this, is there a chance that we can sell or auction this old one off, since it doesn't, the new one doesn't work with our equipment? This might work with somebody else's, or is it that bad that we couldn't get any money for it?
No, we can auction it off. We'll probably keep this one as a backup, because this older style fits on our older style backhoes.
Okay.
But eventually we will auction it off. yeah.
Okay, that's
Yep.
good. That's good. I would move to approve. Support.
Moved by Mr. Frederick, supported by Mr. Karen, to award the new concrete breaker to AIS Construction Equipment in the amount of $18,047. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. 5C is request to approve the purchase of a sewer department jet vac truck.
This item, this is definitely the big workhorse for our department. We have two jet and vac trucks that we use to maintain and clean our sewers. They remove, anything from tree roots to grease, keeping the sewers open and flowing the best that they can. We also use them to clean out our pump stations, which are, deep underground, and they tend to collect debris, so we have to vac that out. We also use them to clean our catch basins to prevent debris from getting into Lake St. Clair. And as of more recent, probably within the last 5 to 10 years, we've been starting to use them too in tighter excavations where there's other utilities such as maybe like a gas line or electric line nearby. We can use this vac to suck out the soil instead of using the shovel. So it's safer for our employees by vacuuming out, around the utilities to expose them. So these trucks are out working every single day. Multiple departments use them. And this proposal is to replace a 2007 This was based on a source well contract, which is the same as the one we purchased our previous vac truck from, which is a 2022. So this will be replacing our second one, which is a 2007. And the purchase cost is $598,617. Any questions?
So, again, not the same, but like the last one, you had My Deal contract. Here, this is the source well, so we're using a consortium to buy it. They've already done all the bidding for us. That's what we're using, that pricing as we used in the last one, correct?
Yeah, this is more of a national purchasing cooperative.
Correct, but once again, it's a consortium. That's how we're doing it.
Yeah.
Questions? Ms. Rusi?
Thank you, and just like the last one, the PO needs to be updated for other entity bid, source well. Right now, it just has the it's by other, and it states the item we're purchasing, so.
Thank you.
Yep, I would move to approve.
Support. Moved by Ms. Rusi, supported by Mr. Frederick. Questions? Mr. Frederick?
Yeah, just want to say thanks for putting in here that, the extra warranty information, because I know Chris might ask about that if it wasn't in here. So, well done. And that this is, we had budgeted $650 for this, and you're coming in at $598, so I'm sure that makes Dustin happy too, so, thank you.
Mr. Ribello?
Obviously, a very important piece of equipment to the
Sure.
city of St. Clair Shores. And
Definitely.
Pretty old at that.
Yeah.
What type of impact would this type of machinery have on, say, resident backups and things like that, flooding on a street or maybe back into the house? Does this sometimes alleviate something like that?
So, yeah, during storms, if we do hear of people, and we ask residents, if you get water in your basement, please call a DPW, because the first thing we do is we send out guys in the pickup trucks to go open the manholes and see if it's holding water. And if it is, then we know that there is an issue. So then we'll come back with the vac truck and we'll start doing a cleaning on that sewer. And sometimes we'll find, blocks or roots. Even on residential streets, you can still even get a grease backup. I mean, it's a public sewer and you don't know what people are dumping down in the sewer. Please don't dump grease or wipes.
Right.
Please.
But, so yeah, we use that in response if there ever is issues. And we also go out and do routine maintenance. There's lines, especially in the commercial areas that we have to keep clean. But we go into residential neighborhoods as well.
Because we sometimes, obviously, all of us hear about basement backups and street flooding and things like that. So that type of piece of equipment, it's sort of a progressive piece of equipment that not probably stop it all the time, but helps alleviate it a little bit.
Yeah, and while I'm here, I might as well mention, I had reported to you guys that we would be going out and doing televising and cleaning on the streets where we had water and basement reported from the July 28th rain event. That work has started, so we currently are out there, and I will, be providing council with an update soon.
Mr. Karen?
Yeah, Brian, on that, are people doing that, or is that contracted out to the vendor that's doing the other cleaning around the city?
Both. The majority is going to be through the vendor that was already working in the city.
Okay,
We also are doing some in-house as well, though, too.
okay, thank you.
Moved by Ms. Rusi, supported by Mr. Frederick, to approve the purchase of the new jet truck from McQueen in the amount of $598,617. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 7-0. Fine, thank you. Have a good evening. 5D is request to approve bid and purchase order for the fencing at the Kite Monroe Pickleball Tennis Complex. Parks and Rec Director Robert Spinizzola.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight to ask you to award the fencing bid for the Kite Monroe Tennis Pickleball Courts to Kimberly Fence. We did bid this out earlier, late summer, early fall. We only got one bid back, so at that time, I had sent an email out to you guys letting you know we would rebid, so we did that. We got 4 bids back. Kimberly Fence was the low bidder. We have used them through the Parks Department in the past, so we're familiar with their work. The asphalt was completed mid-September, and this is the next step in completing this renovation. I did put 2 options before you. I know we've had some of these ongoing discussions about what the right setup is. So you have a 6 pickleball, 2 tennis court setup, and you have a 7 pickleball, 1 tennis court setup. If we went 6 and 2, we would get some rollaway nets, take one of the tennis courts, kind of paint pickleball courts on that tennis court, so it would be multifunctional with nets that we would put to the side, and if people come out there and all 6 of the actual pickleball courts are being used, they could roll those nets onto that tennis court and use that to play pickleball, assuming tennis wasn't being played. 7 and 1 is obvious. It'll just be a 7 pickleball court setup, 1 tennis court without the pickleball lines on it. Another issue we discussed was what the schools were allowing us to do as far as the general public using those. I did speak to Sean Zaborowski at Lakeview, who is the AD and the operations manager. He confirmed, and I did attach an email from him, that the public can use those courts. As we all know, when the school is using them, whether that's for practice or gym time, obviously those courts are for them. Outside of that, though, general public can use them. And I didn't get an email from Southlake, but I did speak with Stephen Ogletree, who's the operations manager through Southlake. He confirmed the same thing. As long as they're not using them, the general public is allowed to go out there. So with that, we can take any questions and try to work through this.
The 6 and 2, back to the 2 tennis courts, so one will be just full tennis, right, with nothing else on it, and then the proposal is the second tennis court, which is still all tennis, but has the option to be converted with a rollaway fence to 2 pickleball, correct?
Correct.
Questions? Mr. Karen?
Thank you. Yeah, that would actually be for the 2 tennis, 6 pickleball option. I think it's important for us to have all potential recreational assets, available, and plus it gets the tennis courts in the north end versus Lakeview being 11 Mile, South Lake being at 9 Mile. We have something at 13 Mile for everyone to use, so that would be my preference.
Mr. Ribello?
I would say the same thing. I mean, we've talked about this, a lot, so it's not foreign to us. But the 6 and 2 sounds great to me. I like the multi-purpose thing. As far as how that works again, 1 tennis court can be converted to pickleball or vice versa.
They'll have the additional lines, that's it, in that one.
And you cleared some of the stuff with the schools, which is fantastic, Rob. You do a great job with that, so.
And the 6 and 2 is option 1.
Yeah, that's option 1. So I will make a motion to award the fencing to Kimberly, am I the right thing?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
To award the fencing bid and purchase order for the Kite Monroe pickleball/tennis complex. Great for the north end. Great for the north end.
Support for option 1.
Okay, moved by Mr. Ribello, supported by Mr. Karen to approve the fence, award the fencing to Kimberly Fence as option 1 in the amount of $65,093. Mr. Vitale.
Was also going to voice support for the 6 and 2, and was just going to mention that although there are some additional costs with option 1 in the 5E, there is about $2,000 savings fencing for this option 1 in this particular. The savings in fencing, is that just because we're not walling off the tennis court?
It all depends on what size fence you're putting where. So as we designed it, some of it has a 12-foot fence, some of it's got a 6-foot fence, and some of it's got a 4-foot fence. So based on how you have to separate it, based on what's being played, is how that cost difference comes into play.
Okay, well, that's.
Shorter fences when you do more pickleball.
I'll take the savings where I can get them.
Ms. Rusi.
Thank you. I also agree with option 1, for the reasons stated, we also have had a lot of resident and public discussion and communication on the issues, and I think there's justification to maintain 2 potential tennis courts at the location. Just one quick question for clarification. It was stated, there's an email change in here, there was a math error from the bidder, but the unit pricing is correct. So we did get that cleared up. The unit pricing that they did submit are the correct numbers. It was the calculation that was the error, and that was cleared up before it got to our table tonight.
Correct, yeah, we found their math problem and fixed it for them, yes.
Which happens, I mean,
Sure.
but the unit pricing was
Yes.
correct, so very good. Okay, thank you.
I think this is a good compromise. We had a lot of discussion, and I know concerned residents, I think this is a very good compromise all the way around. So thank you, Mr. Spinizzola. Moved by Mr. Rubel, supported by Mr. Karen to award fencing to Kimberly Fence in the amount of $65,983, which is option one. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And then
you.
5E,
Yeah, so this is part two, with the fence bid and the decision now to go 6 and 2.
Yep.
This was also an item that we bid out originally, did not receive any bids at that time. Put it back out. We did get 2 bids this time. The low bid for the striping and the nets is from Goddard Sports Surfaces. We also have used them before to do work for us, and haven't had no issues. The only thing with this is we're a little bit late in the season. Goddard cannot complete the work this fall, and it'll be done in spring 2026. I don't personally think it's fine. I know we tried to get this done, but I think a spring opening with a ribbon cutting will be a nice time to do this. And if approved, I will get a firm date from them on when that project would start. So,
right, because spring is March 21st, not June 19th is still spring too.
correct. We can go, I will confirm we're going to go as early in the spring as possible, sir.
Mr. Karen?
Thank you. Anyway, just one of the writers, so the pickleball side being funded by a $102,000 donation from the Shorewood Kiwanis.
Correct.
And that, so now that we got the asphalt pricing done, we got the fencing pricing, we got the painting pricing done, could you go through and just separate out what the costs were for the pickleball side?
Yeah,
So we can just kind of let
absolutely.
them know of, hey, their donation went to this X amount, and really the city's picking up everything on the tennis ball.
Not a problem.
On the tennis court side, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Lentz?
Yep. And then also, as Councilman Karen brought up, there will need to be a budget amendment. The reason normally we try to add them in here, but there were so many selections and choices. It was once we were just deciding what you guys all chose, then we'll be able to come back at our normal budget amendment process and we'll do a budget amendment for this.
Mr. Frederick?
Yeah, I just want to say, I really appreciate you guys figuring out this hybrid, because I think, this is the way everybody wins, right? So we end up with an extra pickleball court, maybe, right? As
Well,
opposed to 7.
Credit to Ms. Haddad, who was very persistent in making sure we still had tennis in the community. And
Oh, yes.
we
Rachel,
talked
I
through
think,
some
called-
options, and this was one thing we discussed, so.
I think she called all of us, so, and I want to thank Dave. Dave and I had a long discussion on this too, and I appreciated, his insights on this. And do we have a motion already?
We do not.
Well, I'll move to, is it option 1 or 2?
Option
No, it's option one.
This will be option 1 as
It's
well?
the only one now we can go with.
All right, I'll move to award the surfacing, striping, and nets to Goddard Surfaces and approve the purchase order in the amount of $72,300 as recommended by the city manager.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Frederick, supported by Ms. Rusi, to award the surface and striping and nets to Goddard Surface in the amount of $72,300. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. And thank you. That's 7-0. Then,
Thank you.
Mr. Spinizzola, you will get us an email regarding timing with them. And seriously, I
Absolutely.
mean, we want this to be early. I think it's not in here, but we know that we need to put a plaque together so that we can recognize Shorewood. Ms. Rusi? Yep.
Oh, I was going to say, and maybe a sign that could be viewed from the road. That was one of the things they stated when they gave us the funds, that they appreciate seeing other communities where you could see it from the road, not just something you have to be there and walk up to.
Absolutely, we're
So
gonna-
something more visible.
Yes.
That plaque is great.
Both.
but- Yeah, but something more visible as well.
So we have now time to work on that, and we'll get that going. And just a comment, in the last 10 years, it's been a lot of work. We continue to move that place forward with skateboard, playground equipment and lights.
Horseshoe.
No doubt, a
Busy
new
facility.
parking lot right now and the whole, the pickleball, and thank Sherwood Kiwanis, but we continue to transform Kite Row and make that a first stop of just excellent place to have activities. And I would say, not only to, it was Mr. Spinazzola too, who felt that the city should have a tennis court in our repertoire, I guess, and it should be. So I want to highlight that. He felt that was extremely important, and so he was always pushing for that. So, because we talked a little bit and pushed back, but I think we came to a good decision here. So with that, I think we already approved, so thank you. And then give us that email, please. Thank you.
Is it going to be a neon sign?
No. No.
Okay.
No. 5F is request for approval and acceptance of the, but we'll bring the signs back to everyone, or send emails, just so that we, okay. A request for approval and acceptance of the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission grant for fiscal year '26 and the execution of the contract that we do this yearly. Mr. Lanson.
Yep. As Mayor said, we do this yearly. This will be the third year since they changed the procedures for the city to actually make the approval. The city and the district court, they do provide the Michigan Indigent Defense Service, the MIDC, in accordance with the Department of License and Regulatory Affairs policies and standards. In order to provide the service, the city has contracted Michael P. Cavanaugh as the assigned council administrator. The contract is a one-year extension. The city and the court feel that Mr. Cavanaugh has done a great job over the past year running the services and look forward to continuing his service. In your packet was also a letter from the chief judge with his recommendation as well. You also see in there the liability and the workers' comp renewal that he's required to carry. This is a grant that we receive of $78,000, so the contract does not exceed the $78,000. For as much time as we use him, it'll be up to that $78,000 in the grant. The rate has changed. His hourly rate will be $129, and all the pertinent information is in the packet.
Ms. Rusi.
Thank you. Is the rate set by the MIDC, I would assume?
Yes.
Okay, and the letter, as you say, we did get a letter from the Chief Judge Merck. Since 2021, Michael has served as the City of St. Clair Shores 4A District Court as the MIDC Managed Assigned Counsel Coordinator. He has successfully maintained a strong and reliable assigned counsel program through the coordination of local attorneys. He consistently demonstrates strong organization, clear communication, and approachability. He submits all required reports to the state in a timely manner, which is important when you're dealing with the grant and state program, and ensures the court remains up to any procedural changes in defense. At this time, there are no concerns to note. With the judge's recommendation, I would move to approve.
Support.
Moved by Ms. Rusi, supported by Mr. Rubello. Mr. Rubello.
I just want to make a comment here. Yep, I had talked to the judge, and he gave his thumbs up on this, and I said, so is this how you would explain it the best? Because I don't think I'll get another chance to say this. This particular agenda item would be relevant to if you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. I don't think I'd ever get a chance to say that again. But anyways, that's what this is about. Yeah.
Mr. Karen?
Law and order.
Councilmember Bell, it's important that you're never being told that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Lent, for handling that. And with that, we will move on to consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Oh, you want to separate something?
Yes, I do. Just waiting for Kip to look over.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to.
I just want to pull up.
I'm sorry,
I'm
Mr.
practiced
I just want to
because
pull up
Dave
Jay,
did
and I think it'll
last
take
Yes,
2
sir.
minutes.
Jay. All right, and with that, Mr. Vitale, will you motion to approve the rest?
Motion to approve.
And then Mr. Frederick supported that. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. Item 6J is the ordinance amendment, mechanical equipment arbitration. Mr. Vitale.
Alls I wanted to potentially add to this was we had some discussion about reasons for granting administrative approval, which are listed in here. Placement of existing equipment is non-conforming, and the proposed, so in other words, like for like. The proposed equipment is the same size and dimensions or smaller. Just because we've had so much trouble with rulings and ordinance and verbiage lately, I do think that perhaps the word physical should go in front of size. because 10 years from now, maybe somebody else is on that job and they decide to interpret size as tonnage. And we also do call out dimensions, so someone could try to make an argument that we specified dimensions. Size means BTU. So I don't want to get into that debate. All I want to do is add the word physical in front of size. Everybody agree with that?
The motion?
Agree.
Ms. Rusi?
Or just take out size and you just leave dimensions then, which would leave the issue aside. If dimensions means the same thing as physical size in that respect, just take out the word size and just leave same dimensions or smaller.
Well, okay, it does say or smaller.
Yeah.
Mr. Erie?
Either works.
Either works.
Okay, well, then I guess cross the word out, then we don't, one less.
Then will you make that
Little bit of
motion?
ink. I will make the motion to strike size
And
from condition number 2.
I support that.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed. That is 6J. Thank you, 7-0. Item 7 is updates and follow-ups from prior council meetings. Mr. Lent.
Mr. Rusi asked for an ordinance amendment to reflect the mechanical equipment arbitration policies with our notations. We just approved. Mr. Karen requested additions to the mechanical equipment arbitration of the same size or smaller. We just approved. Mr. Frederick asked for library renovation updates to be presented at the next council meeting. So with the library renovations, on September 29, 2025, the library design team initiated the shelving relocation. As Library Director Fair has sent actually in an email today, all of that has been now relocated. The library is completely empty in the places it needs to be empty. So we look forward to actually starting the next phase of the construction. Mr. Vitale reported a lighting issue at 9 Mile / I-94 mobile gas station. Lights are shining into the yards late at night. The code enforcement supervisor has been working with the gas station to address the lighting and other issues. The gas station owner is working towards compliance.
Can I speak on that? That person did exchange emails with me, and it was on Facebook too, and she seems to be satisfied.
Okay.
I don't, do you know if that's true, Denise? Okay, I just wanted, so this may actually already be resolved. So, unless I'm told otherwise, if you're watching.
Mr. Vitale asked about the pavement warranty from Consumers Energy, specifically regarding the gas main replacement and pavement condition of Little Mac. It is a 1-year warranty. The email from Consumers is also attached to this. And then we had one resident comment, a Gary Hendricks, a St. Clair Shores resident, spoke on the issue with the approach from Grobel's. A meeting with Grobel's representatives was held, and a solution has been reached to alter the drive to mitigate the residents' concern. Although the approach was not removed as desired, the revised traffic pattern will be less intrusive on Harmon.
Can we highlight a little bit more on that? So what was approved here by not only planning, but the city council was an open driveway. And so now what is a significant angle, which means you can only going to be able to turn from Stevens into the parking lot because of the configuration of that parking lot. That's A. B, they have agreed, meaning Grobel's, to put a arm in there, right?
That's correct.
So that you will not be able to exit from there. You'll have to exit in Little Mac. I know there was a concern regarding some residents that they would be coming out when there was a normal driveway and lights in that home. There'll be no exiting from there. Again, they've put an arm in there that you can't, a mechanical arm that you can't exit the area. It is for visitors. The way that I think the configuration of the building is that the front door really doesn't have a visitor's place, and they wanted to go around on Stevens through that entrance. Then the visitors will have to exit at Little Mac, and deliveries employees, they said, will all come in from Little Mac. Again, you will not be able to go down Harmon there, even if it came down. You can't make the turn in. You have to come from Stevens to make it due to the curve. Originally, they had a curve in here that was even a little wider. We continued to narrow it down so that you could not get some big semi-truck through that curve as they came in there. So we worked to make sure, even though this body and planning approved a whole parking lot. So I think we have tried to get that. I'm sure that not everyone is happy with that, but we have worked with them, Grobel's. Yes, Mr. Vitale?
I was just going to, I didn't want to interrupt you.
That's
I was just going to comment that, I think this is, excellent corporate citizenship by Grobel's. Because, first of all, they are taking down a property that otherwise would certainly be a brownfield and would probably sit vacant for 10 years before we got it knocked down. But it's because it's such a specialized use. Second of all, they could take us to court because we already approved their site plan.
We did.
And they don't have to change this to make it more inconvenient for people to come in and out of that driveway. They don't have to spend the expense, which I'm sure is at least a 5-figure number, to put up this gate. They don't have to tell their employees that they're not allowed to use this. They could do all of those things and take us to court. So I have to say this is good corporate citizenship, and I applaud the actions the city's taken to mitigate this.
Well, we tried, we got right with Grobel after we definitely were concerns that were called and emailed to us, so we went out to speak with them, and I think we've come to some, I think, a pretty good compromise, and I don't believe the traffic will be down Harmon, that's more in Harmon. I do have a couple other more updates that I would like to ask you about, because we do have a lot going on in the city. Can you give us an update on the PD and the fire department, maybe Chief Allen? I know,
Well, Chief Allen's coming up here for the PD.
he's got a mic right there, so.
I have some pictures from the fire department since Chief Piper is not here.
Okay. Chief Allen, we'll do the fire department first, Chief.
So here on your screen, you can actually see the updated pictures. This is from the bay, looking from the interior to the street view. There's actually the front of the, actually, I'm sorry, this is the rear of the building. That's the stairwell going up to the living quarters. To the right is where the offices and the training room will be. Just get more construction pictures.
Mm-hmm.
That is the front. That'll be the training room that's facing inside where the...
So now we have roofs on, so now interior work is getting done.
That's correct. We have actually started hanging drywall.
Yep.
Yep. And the project is still on pace to actually hopefully have their Christmas dinner at the fire station.
So it's moving well. Chief Allen, Police Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I meet regularly with the architect firm and the construction management company. As you can see, this past week, they brought in all the steel for basically the structural skeleton. So by the end of this week, you'll be able to see that skeleton of the building, how it'll look, 2 floors, with the perimeter all set up around. So they're moving along. You can see the elevator shaft. They're almost done with the cell block area, the mechanical room, the intake area. They're going to start on a north stairwell if they haven't already. So we're moving along. There was a lot of underground work that had to be done after the building was torn down, so that's all done. Reinforcements put in to stabilize the site. So we're on track to be done and occupied by July.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. We give a little update on the library. Civic paving start paving today. Curbs are all in and some of the parking lot is in. I don't know, maybe it's 40%. It's something like that. I don't know if they'll be able to complete with the rain tomorrow, but they're certainly, I would expect by Wednesday, it's framed in there and they're moving along on the Civic parking lot there. So that's a positive. We approved the cart paths at the golf course. They're about 9 or 10, so they're doing those in sections of 3. So I think we have, they're doing the first 3, and maybe they'll be complete by the end of the week, depending on that, and then they'll go to phase 2, which is another 3 of them. So we're moving along with that. That's still probably, near November 15th or something like that. So again, that's very positive. Denise, we see St. Mary's is all down over there on 9 Mile Road, so that's progressing good, right? Well, I guess better said. And we're expecting, hopefully, I think May 5th is their date. They have claimed that they will have it all up. I know there's always probably issues, but at this point, the timeline looks like it's May 5th that they'll have an opening in that. For the exterior, not the interior? Whoa. A little later than May 5th to order Panera Bread. Okay, sorry.
A lot going on there, Mayor.
We are aware of the issue at Harper and Little Mac, taking out the rail, but Dustin, we're going to put a light at that curve?
Yeah, so we currently have a sharp curve ahead.
We do?
But we're going to take that curve, or that light, or that sign, and we're also going to put a flashing light above that sign. So at night, it'll illuminate that sign, so it is telling the residents that, hey, there is a sharp curve ahead. just to help bring, and then obviously, as council has already mentioned, we are going to be putting some illuminated things on the new guardrail when it gets put up again.
And of course, before I go to Mr. Karen, we are going, of course, after the insurance company of the car owner, so that who end up paying for this type of work when they damaged it. Mr. Karen?
Yeah, on the illuminated sign, there are ones out there that have the outside edge of the sign illuminated, and that's what flashes, rather than a flashing sign above.
Okay.
It actually flashes around that.
Yep.
You actually do see that in several curves now. And then also, this may be something for Chief Allen to look at, is since we do need people to slow down, I don't know if we should have something that says like a slower curve ahead, 25 mile per hour curve ahead, 10 mile per, something as an additional warning. It's just not a curve, but it's the type of curve where you do need to slow down.
Good point.
But I don't know the regulation on the street
Okay,
to
we'll look
do
into
that.
it.
For example, like you're approaching an off-ramp,
Yes,
and the off-ramp has a much slower,
yes,
caution sign as well as a speed reduction, right?
yes.
Thank you.
Sure. The school crossing, we're going to get those taken care of, hopefully ASAP. Mr. Lent?
That is correct. CDI is working with PK Contracting. Currently, they are our striping contractor, and we are hoping to have those done as soon as the contractor can get out there. We are looking to do all of our school crossings with a little bit more notation. Currently, we just have the two white lines that go across. It'll be very similar to the ones that we did at Little Mac already, where it has Dave's favorite crosswalk.
But these are the common ones. Grosse Pointe uses them, and we anticipate, we're hoping, we're anticipating next week we'll have them out there.
That is the goal.
Yep, to start.
And we have 31, I believe.
Okay. Fraser Bridge there on the I-94, it was hit, it's closed. MDOT's handling, they're engineering it. Do we have an update on that, or do we know when we'll understand about that bridge at the Fraser Bridge?
MDOT contacted both Brian and myself. They are hoping to be doing demolition this weekend.
Oh, wow.
They
Okay.
need to take part of the bridge, not all of it. So they'll just be taking the southern edge, is that correct? North edge of the westbound lanes, right. And then they're hoping that they can reopen it partially to traffic, and they'll be going out to bid to rebuild it. But the determination to reopen it to traffic is by the state. So we're not sure about that yet.
But repair needs to be done, and part of the demolition will be going on this weekend.
That is what we have heard.
Okay.
They haven't confirmed it.
Again, it's an MDOT project, MDOT bridge, I know that's over, but I thought we'd give an update. This will be a long project. And then just to update a little bit on Jefferson project coming down there, a couple items here. Consumers has been out putting in a new gas line there. They're right at 10 Mile Road, so they're hoping to be done with the line 10/10, so that's maybe this week, early next week, and then restoration will occur, so they're hoping to be out by the end of the month. The big portion was to attach the current pipe that is in the ground, that was bored in the ground. They're hoping by the end of the month will be attached at 9 Mile and Jefferson there. So hopefully we see traffic get changed, meaning when I say traffic, they're hoping at 11/1 that between there, 9 Mile and Jefferson, more to almost Stevens, will now be opened up. So you'll be coming, we'll say, south on Jefferson, and then you'll be able to use the lanes there. You won't be able to use some of that area of Jefferson and Downing and Kramer there, but you'll then be able, past Stevens, be back in there, and then whole 9 Mile Jefferson will be open. So that should be around November. So they're making progress there. So that's positive. They're almost done with phase 2 and be getting on to phase 3. So they're moving.
Mayor, is that temporary pavement going in then, or?
Yes, there will be temporary pavement, as it is on all the side streets where it's temporary pavement. But yes, it'll be not stone or anything, temporary pavement on all of this, yes. And then, I do two shout outs for help from our legislature, and I know she's here, but, and we'll get her under audience participation, but State Rep Maya Zong, thank her for her help with the library here, and we also had Senator Hertel. He's helping with the Jefferson and the nautical mile here and getting the landscaping and that. So we appreciate our state legislatures assisting the city of St. Clair Shores and trying to get some money back to the city. So we appreciate that, and I know she's here and I'm probably going to come up under audience participation. So I just wanted to shout out to them and thank them for their hard work. And with that, so thank you for the updates on that. Those are a lot of great projects. With that, we will go to comments by individual council. I got to remember what in here, and that will be Ms. Rusi.
Oh, thank you.
Wasn't it right?
I went, Dave called me first last
He
time.
did. Okay. That'll be Mr. Karen. He was supposed to be first, so he called you because he was sitting in
Yeah,
this seat.
which
So
made
I'll
sense.
switch
Which made
around.
sense.
There you go, Mr. Karen.
All right. First, again, to Representative Mysong, thank you for putting in for the appropriation for the $500,000 for the library, and Senator Hertel for the $1 million that will help us with the reconstruction of Jefferson after we're done with the sewer projects. That's greatly appreciated. And there was a third appropriation that affects us as well. State Representative St. Germain and Senator Hertel both put in for an $800,000 appropriation to help deal with the the muck issue on the lake that's affecting property owners in both Harrison and St. Clair Shores. That money is being appropriated to Macomb County Public Works, and we're going to be working with Army Corps and Eagle on what solutions we can start to use to start to address that problem along the lake. So greatly appreciate the legislature helping us get those appropriations through to fund those projects. So let's stick with the passage of the budget. A couple of to-dos from that. So some of the money that was shifting around to get more money into the road fund, it reallocated gasoline sales tax money to go into the road fund. So that takes that out of the revenue sharing formula. There's another category to where public safety money was supposed to backfill some of that. So Mr. Walters, you're behind the sign over there. Normally, I know the state treasury has a site they update. I don't know how long that's going to take. So I don't know if we can get better guidance from MML of how is the constitutional revenue sharing going to change versus the Act 51 dollars that should be increasing for us versus the public safety money that should be also helping to backfill what we're losing in revenue sharing, so that we can have that rather than waiting for the Treasury Department to figure out the numbers for everybody. Hopefully, maybe they have a formula that we can be applying, so we have some estimate in the next few weeks to understand what our impact is. Okay. So, thank you for that. So at the last meeting, we had a gentleman talking regarding the flooding in their area, the basement flooding. So a few things that we've always been doing, so we have $500,000 in the budget for inspections, and that's doing camera inspections of our sewers. $1 million to actually do the repairs, $100,000 on the root treatment. What I'd like to see is what is that project plan for those three? Because I know we get them separately, but I don't know if I've seen them all in like one document of here's the plan for the next year with those allocations and that in terms of, what area is getting cameraed, what area is getting repaired, and then one area is getting the root treatment. Just in one document would be helpful. And I don't know if I know we have an asset management plan for roads and we have one for the water mains. I don't know, do we have one for sanitary sewers and storm sewers as well? In terms of an asset management plan document?
I wouldn't say necessarily a full asset management document, but we have a guideline and a structure that we've been following that was created by AEW.
Okay, so could I get that?
Yeah.
And just wondering if we should start looking at that same methodology as well for those, especially on the storm sewer side with all the pumps that were very unique in that case. Yep. In terms of the 40-some pumps that we have along Jefferson to clear away the storm water as it comes down. Trying to prioritize my list here. I'll jump back to Mr. Walters. One thing we learned at SEMSD, we had our audit recently completed. Yo and Yo does our audit as well. One of the things we learned from them is that they're still waiting for the federal guidance to be complete on the, doing the single file audit, that the rules aren't done yet. So SMSD, we actually received a draft copy. So we at least have all the numbers, and then when the federal rules are finalized, they'll give us the final document. I don't know if you can follow up with Ally on if the city audit's going to be in that same situation, because I would prefer that we get the draft so we at least have the numbers and not holding that up to be presented to council, waiting on the federal direction to be finalized. So you can follow up with Ally on that, John. I appreciate it. And then, Mayor, you had mentioned about the playground at Kite Monroe. I know Liz put that out for bid on Friday. Those are due back on November 10th, and I know we're going to be getting proposals in for that. They'll need to get evaluated. So do we have a timeline on when that'll actually be back to council? We're talking like maybe first meeting in December, or?
I'm hoping 12/1.
12/1, okay. Because it's just going to be, you got to make sure those meetings are in place for
Yes.
the playground committee to be able to do that, so. Okay. Good there. Next for Abby. All the precinct locations are, most of them are changing. All the precincts all got larger. Do you have a communication plan for how we're going to reemphasize all the moves that have occurred? And are we going to have, I don't even know if it's possible, to have signage that day at old precincts? Try to direct them where to go, or at least go to a QR code website to look it up?
Yes, so we'll have signage posted on the doors of all the locations and all of the old locations that we're no longer using. So if anyone goes there, it'll have a QR code for them to scan to find out where to go. There will also be signs at the new ones because some of the boundaries have changed. We have information on our website, and then I'll have communications put something out as well.
Okay. And that's something that needs to get put out multiple times the couple weeks beforehand, so that people don't miss it as they just scroll and scroll and scroll. So that'd be good, because that'll also alleviate a lot of frustrations on election day. Because I actually just looked and realized, oh wait, place I've been voting at for 26 years, oh, I'm not voting there anymore, I'm voting at a different place. So so it'll be a lot of change for a lot of people, so it'd be good to get that out multiple times. All right. And last, couple more announcements here. So Liz and I actually met with the couple of people from planning at Macomb County with the Greening Macomb group, and brought them down to the Bryce Park Arboretum and looking to get, basically they do have grant money available as well to help fund future trees down there. And one of the things that the county gets as a deal from Wiegand's is the trees that don't sell by the end of the year, they'll sell to the county for like 25%. Wow. In that. So I'm going to take a trip up to Wiegand's one day this week and just kind of see what they have, and see what it fits with other trees that we still need for the Arboretum. Maybe we can get a few at a heavy discount, and the county would even be paying for those trees. We just have to go and pick them up and that. So
great deal.
So we'll have more info on that later this week. As I go take a look.
25% of the price are off.
Yeah, like quarter of the price.
Wow.
And the county would pay for it.
And they don't want them wintered, so they want them out.
Right, exactly. So.
Yes.
So that's free.
Pretty much. And for the Animal Ordinance Committee, so this is a unique thing for everyone to know about. So we got a request. The first one that we dealt with is a person already has 3 dogs, which is the limit per our ordinance. They came in, they're going to be asking for a variance to that. We have a meeting on Thursday to hear that case. But this is a case of they're fostering the 4th dog. They're not owning the 4th dog, they're fostering. Normally, if we let someone have a 4th dog, they're going to get a license, but they can't do that because they're technically not the owner. The fostering agency is the owner. So, what Abby's put together is a form specific if you're fostering a dog and what information we require, what group is the dog actually being fostered through? Is it really being advertised for adoption? And that basically, we also would have all their medical records as well. So this is like a unique case. Hopefully we can have more of them, because if you have a responsible dog owner that can foster more to help get more dogs out of shelters until they're fully adopted would be great. So, and this is also a form that'd be available in case they don't need to come to us in terms of a variance to us, but they need some documentation. They have the dog on the premises for whatever reason. I don't even know what those circumstances would be. But it would be a form we would have available that they could get at no charge from the clerk's office just by submitting the information, just so we'd have something on record with the city. I think this is a good thing for us to be able to have out there as an option, so that we're not limiting a good, especially with the other 3 dogs in the house are good at training, helps, get the foster dog used to a at-home environment with other dogs and makes them more adoptable. So hopefully that'll work out. And lastly, Shorewood Kiwanis, for this month of October, they are the beneficiary of the Snoopy Room donations at Mike's on the Water. So if anyone goes to Mike's on the Water, go visit the Snoopy Room and check out his huge collection. I did the beautification show from there, and it's sensory overload of Snoopy when you go into that place. But all the donations that get contributed go back to Shorewood Kiwanis. And on top of that, Shorewood Kiwanis is going to be having a mixer there at Mike's on the Water on Wednesday, October 15th at 6 p.m., $20 per person. So if anyone is interested in learning about Kiwanis, joining Kiwanis, as a great way to meet the organization. And again, that's Wednesday, October 18th at Mike's on the Water. And that is my list. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Frederick.
Thanks, Mayor. First off, Mahjong, wow, well done. I got to watch the video of your testimony on behalf of our library and us here, and super impressive, and all I can say is huge thank you. Huge thank you. Obviously, you have to thank Kevin Hertel as well, Ms. St. Germain, and then also I wanted to thank everybody that kind of wrote in and did some other stuff along with that. So again, awesome. This is going to fill a gap that was so necessary, and I loved how you positioned it, that we had bid it out, we're ready to go, and then all of a sudden the prices went up. So it was good stuff. I also wanted to thank the police who had an open house. Hard to have open houses with no building, but nice work. And then along the same lines, the fire department is having their Fire Prevention Week open house, celebrating their 98th anniversary. It's going to be at Blossom Heath on October 11th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. They'll have fire safety information and a whole bunch more. Cider and donuts provided by the Firefighters Union 1744, and they are celebrating their 58th anniversary. I also wanted to mention, along with the library, that you can still use the library even though we're closed. Ms. Fair, Stephanie Fair, our library director, thanks for sending the pictures over. That was very enlightening to see what we're all doing. And then, so online at the library, you can use Libby, as well as tutor.com, Transparent Language, and Hoopla. All of these things, and you can find them at LibCoop, Library Cooperative, libcoop.net. So thanks, everybody that helped put that together. And Mayor, I think that's all I have today.
Thank you, Mr. Frederick. Mr. Vitale.
Yeah, I'm going to start with something that I actually had my pen up when we were talking about the vac truck, but I don't think you saw it, and actually kind of dovetails with what John was talking about in terms of asset management. We have one vacuum truck, if I'm understanding that correctly, that we use to clear clogs, et cetera, replacing that one.
Two.
Two? Okay.
Newer one and an older one, basically.
Okay, so would an additional vacuum truck allow us to get through the city quicker? I mean, do we have staff for that? Is there, sure.
The work that we do, we're working our way through the city throughout like a 7 to 8 year cycle. That's done using a contractor.
Okay, so then that would be, we would need additional contracting to get through the city quicker. I'm not talking about cammering, I'm talking about clearing blockages and things like that.
Yeah, the routine work, we try to get through the city every 7 to 8 years, and that work is contracted out.
Okay, so we are going through when, like the example that you gave was a resident calls and says, my basement flooded, and so we would go do that one?
Yeah, we have routine stuff that we do as well. Quarterly, we have a list of sewers that we have to clean, and then in response to street flooding, sometimes when a catch basin, stops taking the water, we'll find tree roots or something in it. So we do the cleaning as well.
Okay.
But you'll see the map that I'll send you, what you're asking for is showing like where we've been. You'll see big neighborhoods, like we just finished everything south of 9. We're currently working between 9 and 10 Mile, and then we're going to move on to the next neighborhood. That's contractor work.
Okay, so I guess that was basically the idea. If you had more equipment, could you get through faster? But it sounds like that's contracted work.
Correct.
Yeah, if we budgeted more in the contracted projects, we could get through
Could
the
be
city.
larger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, something to keep in mind, I suppose.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I guess the next one will be for Mr. Spinizzola. I happened to be up at Blossom Heath Pier tonight. My wife actually had a friend that came into town from southern part of Ohio, and usually that's a pretty good way to kind of show off the city. So, I was there right before the council meeting, and I ran into James, who was on Trombley Street, and I was not the only person wearing a tie there tonight, so I think that probably made him happy. But what I noticed when I was walking is the spalling, the concrete spalling, in the area that's basically the parking area. And I remember hearing about this before. So, warranty issue, or we're stuck with it, or?
So, yes and yes is the best answer I guess I can give on that. So we met out there this spring. Councilman Karen was there. We met with the contractor, and it is kind of, for lack of a better word, scaling. They were set to come back out and put a coat, kind of like a seal over that should prevent that from further happening. But at that point, we were outside of that window.
Of the
Okay.
warranty.
Yes.
Of the warranty.
Correct.
I can practically see where there were probably individual grains of salt that did that. It struck me too that entire area really gets blasted with sun.
Yes.
And it's just, thankfully, it's none of the really expensive concrete work on the pier. All that stuff looks good. This is basically just a sidewalk for that parking lot. Could we close that sidewalk, have it shoveled? And then I got to think the sun, there's not much that's going to hold up to that. Can we avoid salting that? Because if we continue on that, we're going to be replacing that every 10 years.
I think the best thing we can do is not salt that area anymore. We can do our best to clear the area, but to avoid salting would be the best thing we can do to prevent that from continuing to
Oh, I
happen.
agree with you. But would we need to put up some kind of a A-frame or something that said sidewalk closed? It's not really a sidewalk, it's really just for people getting out of their cars, which I got to think in heavy snowstorms isn't going to be much.
We can put a sign up, but there are people who still will like to go down there and want to use the pier at that time of year, believe it or not. We do close off that longer part of the, I guess, what you would call the
wood part.
The extension, yes, because it
Yeah.
gets really slippery when you go out that far. We'll close that in the winter, but we have left the sidewalk onto the wider part of the pier open. So we can talk about closing it, but I would say there's still going to be people who want to use that section.
Or even just not even salting 100% of that.
What's
It's
the other,
a lot.
what's the other material instead of salt? The expensive stuff.
Sand.
No, not sand.
Chloride?
Yeah, calcium chloride.
Calcium chloride?
Yes. That's effective.
I mean, I can look into a bunch of different options and see if we can just use that over there. We'll
yeah.
figure out something, because
I think calcium chloride
we
is
did
the
meet out
answer.
there. Like I said, Councilman Karen was with us when we met with the contractor. And we can look at other ways of
Well,
maintaining
maybe the
that.
money we're going to spend on this coating, we can spend towards more expensive salt. Or more expensive calcium chloride.
Well,
Or just not salt it. Like I said, if it was hand shoveled, the sun would kill that quick. I mean, there's no trees or anything there. Gets pretty much blasted.
So what we can look into, because as much as I'd love to have the staff to hand shovel, I don't think that's going to be practical for us.
I meant our contractor.
We can also look at that. We can look at seeing if there's attachment that can go on to the current cart that we have out there. I don't know that to be certain, but we can look to see if there's some sort of plow attachment to put on there.
Well, that's the thought.
That
was
might help
just-
with the sidewalk.
Yeah, I saw how much it's deteriorated in a relatively short amount of time, and I don't want to have to be putting cement in there all the time, even if that means not salting it and putting an A-frame on it till
Yeah.
it's clear. So, all right, well, thank you.
Sure, I'll get
for
back
that.
with you guys.
Okay. One other item, this, for Denise, you won't need to get up for this one, but when we met up to look at that Consumers Gas Line project, we talked about putting language on the permit regarding our compaction standard. Are we working towards getting that on the permit?
We are doing that. We've also secured G2 to go out when they're starting to fill the holes, the big bore pits, and do the compaction testing on site. So we will be doing both with consumers.
But that'll be along Frazo where they're working right now?
It'll be along Frazo and in front of the church on Little Mac.
Okay, very reassuring. Thank you for that. And that's all I have tonight.
And I'll just follow up a little bit with regarding the pier and that. Like we won't have the final numbers because we're still using it, but I mean, I think that the non-resident fee will now be, I think, we're looking at, we all get that. I think we very well could end up over $40,000 or very close to that when the year ends. And I think that's some of the money that I anticipate that that's what the body will authorize, that is keep that money over here in that area and use that park and sort of maintain these kinds of things because we get a lot of traction and a lot of people out there. So we voted for that, and I know there was a little consternation sometimes with it. Yeah, we're charging the fee, but if we put it back in the park, we need it, and I think that'll be good. So that's, I think, hopefully using some of that money, Ms. Vitale.
One thing I would add to tag on to that is that just kind of observing it today, very busy, but not so busy it wasn't enjoyable.
Yeah, great.
So there were a lot of people there that were fishing. I actually saw some people do some catches.
Excellent.
But it wasn't wall to wall.
Sure.
So I think maybe we hit it right.
I agree.
How much was that number again, Mayor?
Well, we don't have the final number, but I think we're going to be up in that $40,000 range. We're definitely over 30,000 now.
Great to put it right back into the park. Nice.
To maintain it and keep it up at the high level the residents expect. With that, Ms. Burgess.
I just have a few things. One is I drove by and St. Mary's is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little sad, but then it's also very exciting that we're going to be seeing some new and fresh things coming. Went to the hockey opener. That was amazing. And I was a few minutes late because I went to church first. I cannot believe how many teams and how many kids are involved in this. It was just spectacular to see all that. And the happiness and the joy in the kids' faces. It was just really a great opener. Went by the police open house. That was fun too. Got to pet some dogs, our police dogs, and had some really great conversations with our police officers and even the vendors that were there. Pete Lucido had a couple people there representing, and also Sierra. Am I saying that right?
Sarisa.
Sarita, yeah.
Yep, Rick walked up and said, "Do you know who I am?" And they knew who he was. Gets enough calls for 911. But I thought it was a great open house, and the kids were having a great time, and there was a lot of traffic when I went, and so it was a great day. Just wanted to mention a couple things. Social District coming up this weekend, and my favorite band is playing, which is Main Street Drive. So make your way down there. We only have two left. It's just unreal how fast this summer went, and thank God for all the beautiful weather that we've had that's kind of ending today. But yeah, so come out, Social District, Main Street Drive. And then last thing I want to mention is I'm on the board of the Crisis Club, and we're having our comedy night coming up on October 18th, which is coming just in a couple weeks now. It's a comedy night. We got 3 awesome comedians coming. The dinner, they have appetizers, then they have a complete dinner, open premium bar the whole night, $75, all inclusive, and it's going to be I've gone to it for the last 12 years. I've been on the board for about 10 years now. Just an amazing night. So if you're free, you want information, you can always look me up on Facebook, Linda Burgess, or you can give me a phone call, 248-767-9961. I'd love to be able to get you tickets to this event.
That's here in town, right?
Yes, it's at Lakeland Manor. Sorry, forgot to say that. Lakeland Manor. Doors open at 6:30 with hors d'oeuvres, uninterrupted, premium bar. Dinner is 7:45, and show is starts at 8:30. Reservations are a must, and you can reserve a whole table if you want for 8. But payment's due by the 13th. So if you have any questions, let me know. And that's all for me tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Ribello.
Thank you, Mayor. We thought you were late because you were in the penalty box for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did come out of the penalty box.
Okay. And I just wanted to make a few comments here. That their permit portal online, Denise, that seems to be working pretty good. I mean, this number here, we get these CDI updates, love to read them, and 377 of them. And so that's fantastic. As of September, that was. So that worked out pretty good. And we had a couple, we had like 5 new CFOs. So, Mayor, you gave a list during your mayor's comments. There's a lot of stuff going on here in St. Clair Shores. I couldn't even believe how much things that, there's a lot of action. All the things that you just listed there. So.
Yes.
We're doing something right. So that's exciting news. And the other thing I wanted, the pump station, Blossom Heath Pump Station and boat launch repair.
Yes.
That's going to be sort of around Thanksgiving to be completed.
Yes.
So
hopefully a little bit before that, but yes.
It's actually quite a sight seeing, no water in a section of a canal to see sort of what it looks like,
Right.
On the bottom there. So, chance of a lifetime right there.
The improvement there for the boat launch and for the community.
It's great. And Galooey seems to be making some progress down in the street repairs.
Yes.
So, that's good news. I wanted to, I'm going to give a shout out to the St. Clair Shores Police Department. On my street a couple nights ago, okay, I awake to the exclamation of my daughter saying, "There's a bunch of cop cars outside, you gotta get up." So, of course, I went out, just sort of gawking a little bit. And I'm gonna tell you something. Chief Allen, your police department did an incredible job of de-escalating something that could have got a lot bigger on Chelan Street. So, hats off to your guys and how you handle this potential crazy situation from happening. So give them my regards, because that was amazing to watch. Denise, I sent you something today about coverness and the sidewalks and trip hazards, okay? There's a fellow that's been on me for a little bit. Can someone go out there? I sent you the addresses too. So if somebody could go out there and look at that, that would be great. I had a thrill of a lifetime. I went to the hockey, a great tradition here in St. Clair Shores. The puck drop, it was, there I am there. And I got to tell you, that was quite a thrill. And I couldn't believe the amount of people that play hockey at that ice arena. Rob Spinazzola, wonderful job. He handled the whole thing great. I know Ron was there, and he had his food going and stuff. So it's all part of the gel. It's all part of working together. So that was a bucket list item right there. So the mayor, who wasn't able to make it, I stood in for him, and that was a thrill of a lifetime. And the next one, okay. For some reason, that telephone pole really bothers me. And I'm afraid this has been going on for a couple of months. And I'm just waiting for something to take down all the wires or hit somebody. Denise, can you please, it's like one of those things that it's a safety hazard. And I sort of look at it every morning. I just don't want anyone to get hurt, okay?
Yes.
And the last thing I wanted to mention is I'm going to give a muskrat award to my dog. Okay, I'm going to tell you why.
To your dog?
John was there too. The dog park committee had a pool party, okay, last weekend. And for my dog, as some of you may or may not know, has been a rescue dog from the Dow Chemical experiments, okay? He was one of 32 beagles that got out alive. It was his first time he ever swam. I've never seen him swim before. So, Teddy, you get a muskrat award, okay? Don't bite him, but you get a muskrat award. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Rusi.
I think your jaws already got their mouths on that muskrat award. Okay. I just will echo some of the previous statements, I guess. I know John brought up the playground subcommittee. We should probably get reconvene that. That's me and Ron to go over those proposals when they do come in. This one was done a little bit differently because of the grant funding issue, so we couldn't really select the equipment like we used, like we did in some of the other previous ones. But I'm excited to see what, I'm sure Ron is too, what comes in. It might be something completely different that we were not aware of. So I'm excited to see what the proposals will be and to start digging through those when they finally come in.
And you can set the date now, really, and, and wait.
Yeah, we should put that in the calendar. Also, speaking of subcommittees, this one's me, Ron, and Chris, garbage subcommittee. We probably should reconvene that and just get an update on where we are with that. Happier note, priority seems to be doing better recently, knock on wood. I know at least I've gotten fewer contacts from residents. I still get maybe one a day, but it's not to the level where Dan Vinay was my perpetual pen pal, and I had to write him like over a dozen times just from the complaints I was getting. I know we all were getting different ones as well, so they seem to be a little bit more on top of things, perhaps calling them to the council meeting, and some of the follow through they were able to do from that with the new trucks has maybe helped. I know they were also getting a guy in the truck following just to make sure maybe he's catching some of the issues too before they rise to our level, which is also appreciated. So things for now seem to be a lot better than they were. I also had school crosswalk safety on my list. I know we've discussed that. I know when some of the residents had brought some issues to us, we already were in the process of getting a pavement marking subcontractor, in the process of scheduling that, so we already were on top of that. I know some people have suggested some additional signage. I'm glad we're looking into that, just to keep things safer. Some of the ones that people have brought to my attention, at least one by Jefferson Middle School and Greater Mac. I know there's been some talk about looking at some of the crossing guards and maybe extending some of their scope as well to cover some of the middle school crossers, not just the elementary ones. I would like to talk about that. I know there's a petition circulating out there with the residents, but I don't think we need a petition to be told we need to keep kids safe. We all agree on that. We're all making, all looking into that, and I know discussing some things we can do, and we already were in the process of doing some things and some additional things we can do to make those crosswalks and safer and keep those safer for the kids utilizing them. So thank you for being on top of that. Joining the congratulations and the thank you to our state reps, Rep Myson. Thank you for helping to secure the additional library funding that is so appreciated and needed and will be put to such great use. We probably should convene a library subcommittee on that and just where we are on the renovations, but knowing thank you for all the work you were able to do in getting that from the state. That will really help see this project to completion, and this will be touching a lot of lives in St. Clair Shores, from the littlest library users all the way up to our seniors and everywhere in between. So thank you for working on that. Congrats to the Hockey Association. Like we stated, opening day was Sunday. thanks to the fire department, they visited the kids at the pre-K, kindergartners and first graders at St. Isaac Joe's Catholic School. This previous week, they invited me out to come watch, and it was pretty cool. They were out there for like an hour with the kids, showing them putting on their equipment and their uniforms and showing the kids the truck and the ambulance and the little kids. There were two things that seemed to excite them the most. One, as they were doing the demonstration, putting on the turnout gear and the boots and everything, the kids were very excited. Put the helmet on! They kept yelling. It was very cute. So he finally put the helmet on, and I got a big rounded cheers. And then I guess the previous year they brought the ladder truck. And this year it was engine 2. So the kids who I guess had been part of previous year's demonstration were, we want to see the ladder. They were all out there. So they didn't have the ladder, but they did bring out the extension ladder, which the kids were equally, I mean, not equally, but they were excited about that too. And then they extended to double the length and put it on the edge of the school. And then one of the firemen climbed up to the roof of the school. And the kids were, that just made their day. That was their favorite part, I think. So I know that was appreciated by the school and the kids, and they learned a lot. And the firemen were very patient and kind, and I know the school appreciated it. Thank you to the police department. Again, the open house Saturday, Blossom Heath. Kids got an opportunity to check out the vehicles. My nephew arrested me, so at least he put me in the back of one of them while he was like driving. He was very thrilled with that, so. Then he was like, don't put me back there, but I did. So I arrested him too. And I said, I think we're scaring him straight because he was like, get me out of here. He's 5. He's little. He's kindergarten. So, and it was fun to see all the little kids. They love meeting the police dogs. They love seeing the equipment. They love trying on the vests and uniforms. They climbed up in the tank and they looked. And it's fun to see the equipment used in this fashion to do some educational things and to show the kids. And I know we have probably had a lot of little future policemen walk away from that. They were very impressed to meet their heroes and see, you know, some of the day-to-day part of the job, at least the fun stuff. And finally, thank you to the Women's Civic League for the Meet the Candidates for Council event they held like they do every council election. And thank you to Judge Mark, as always, for moderating. He always does a great job and makes everyone feel very comfortable, and it was a nice venue, so thank you to the volunteers for that and to Judge Merck for moderating, as always. And that's it.
Thank you. Item 9, the city manager report.
No report, Mayor.
All right, item 10 is audience participation. You get 5-minute time limit to speak on anything you'd like. Do we have anyone who would like to speak? I think the state rep will go first, then who else would like to? Raise your hands and we'll, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, there. You could be number 3, you could be number 2, and then we'll come back to that. Okay.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor. Thank you so much. Hello, members of the City Council. So excited to bring such good news to St. Clair Shores. I mean, good news in politics is very far and few in between these days. But, you know, I think about when I came before you in early spring and I was watching the presentation on the library and I was looking at the numbers and you guys were, you know, very not deep in the hole, but there was a huge gap. And I just thought, you know, what can I do in my capacity to help? Because I know that you guys have done absolutely everything that you can possibly think of, from federal funding to your city dollars to private funding, and there, you know, possibly was not much more you could do. And so I'm truly am so excited about this $500,000. And as, you know, Councilwoman Rusi said, this is life-changing. Our state budget overall is $81 billion, and this is a drop in the bucket, but it really shows that every single dollar are tax dollars when we utilize it in an efficient way, that we can really change the lives of so many. And I'm so truly excited that this money will be put to good use and to help ensure the completion of the library. Just full disclosure, there's 110 of us across the state of Michigan, and we all put in our own requests for our communities. And the total amount between the 110 of us was $3.4 billion. And so this was a really hard decision for all of us to make, because ultimately, even though we made those requests, almost $4 billion, in the end, only about $160 million of these one-time enhancement grants were awarded. So to know that St. Clair Shores not only received the 500, but also the 1 million for the nautical mile and the 800,000 for the muck cleanup is just phenomenal. And that really speaks volumes to the, the representatives that represent this region of Macomb County, working across the aisle, Republicans and Democrats. I mean, this budget was widely supported by both parties in the past. Whoever was in control, I mean, everyone else would vote down and then the other party would vote up, but over 100 of us voted for this budget. It hasn't technically been signed by the governor yet. As you know, we did miss that October 1st deadline. That was because we are in a split government, and my colleagues on the other side really wanted to cut as much as they could to be as fiscally responsible. And so there was a lot of concessions made on both sides, and ultimately, this was the best budget possible. We did pass a continuing resolution through tomorrow or through October 8th to give the governor time to review the budget so that she can sign it. But it speaks to the relationships that we have, in Lansing and here, and how we can really advocate for our community. So I'm honored to be able to do that for our city, and just really excited that this money will be put to good use. On top of that, I also want to mention that I know Councilman Karen, you had some questions about the PA funding and the public safety. So I do have some numbers for you. These are estimates, but about $9.5 million in direct funding will come to St. Clair Shores, and that is a 33.4% increase from the current year through next year. And then for the county, $112 million. So just to the Macomb County Roads Department, that's a 35.5% increase. So the road plan that we passed with the state budget did include significant funding for local roads, and St. Clair Shores will come on top despite that public safety decrease. So it currently was 6.3 million. There's about a $300,000 decrease that you will see. So an estimate of about $6 million from the Public Safety Trust Fund to St. Clair Shores. And that's because of the way that we changed the sales tax. So now instead of paying 6% at the gas pump, you'll be paying 51 cents as opposed to the 31 cents. There's an increase in the fuel price, but a decrease in the sales tax, and it's supposed to be revenue neutral, but I guess it depends on how much gas is for the day, right? So the calculation will vary, but all of that will go to the road funding, and it is a new revenue source for local county roads for years to come. So this is truly transformative. Record funding in per pupil student, the foundation to $10,050 per pupil. The free breakfast and lunch is maintained, and $26 million for Selfridge. And then $129 million from the Inflation Reduction Act, which I hope to talk to you more about, because that was money that came from the federal government that was just sitting in a bank account somewhere. It wasn't appropriated by the legislature, so we did do that, and I hope to bring some of that funding back to the district too.
We appreciate it. And again, on behalf of the city, we thank you for all your hard work, State Rep Maizong, all your hard work in getting that $500,000. It's terrific, and it will, as you know, put to good use. So we appreciate your effort. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You'll be second and third, and then we'll open it back up. We just need your name and the city you reside in, and then we'll show you, Mr. Walters will show you where you sign in there after you speak, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's really impressive to see what's going on in this city. I mean, this meeting, I haven't been to one in probably 10 years, embarrassed to say. But today I come to you about two things.
Your name, sir, and the city you reside in.
Lawrence DeSantis.
Thank you.
St. Clair Shores.
Thank you.
I live on Alexander Street.
Yes, sir.
I had sent an email to all of you regarding possible rewording or reworking of the ordinance for the Water Resource Board.
Yes.
I don't know if there was any movement on that or if you guys were behind the scenes doing something, but I just...
Still evaluating.
Okay, I didn't know if that was too much to ask or not for you. I just meant if it's even able to be done. I didn't know if that was something. But if there was any way I could get some feedback, that'd be great, or like an email to me, because I I do represent probably 12 neighbors on my street that are really interested in this, to see
Alrighty.
what's going to happen here. The other thing is, not a challenge, but a request. When you drive home today, can you just turn left out of the parking lot and loop down Alexander Street and kind of take in the ride quality as you're going down that street and then coming up the other side? Because I've lived there for 18 years. It's pretty bad. And a few years ago, I remember they came by and they were talking about cracks in the sidewalk.
Yep.
When the cracks in the street are a lot more than what was going on the sidewalk. That didn't need to be addressed, I thought. But if you could just do that, it'd be a great thing. Maybe
I've
you
been
could
on it many
see-
times recently. You're
Have you?
right. It's a tough street. It's a tough
Yeah, and I know
street.
they have the Pazer. I
Yes.
spoke with Councilman Ravella. I think that's part of the thing is the Pazer
Yes.
list. And we're always on it, but I don't know how we always get bumped to the lower ones, because I know Alexander, across the street from us, between Mack and Jefferson, I think that's been repaired twice in the past. I know that there's been work on slabs on that part, but it's like, it seems like it's a lot newer than what we got. So anyway, those two items, that's all.
All right.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Okay, if you don't mind, sign in, please. Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm very.
Can you talk in the mic so
Oh,
we?
I'm sorry. My name is Rachel. I am here for the very first time. This is in regards to getting a parking permit permanently for my house. My son, he worked at UPS.
Ma'am, we're having trouble
Oh, I'm
hearing
sorry.
you.
He worked at UPS in Detroit. They closed back in July. He now works for Pro Service, which is 24/7. Our driveway is only 2 cars can fit in the driveway. I've been to the city, paid his ticket, he received, asked the courthouse, said, where do I go? They told me, police department. I said, okay, police department. They gave me a partial permit for a week or so. I go back down there, I said, what else more can I do? They said, I had a CLA, who was only there for a certain amount of time. She said, we'll send a gentleman out to your house. I said, well, do I need to be there? No, you do not, we'll let you know. I said, okay. Well, permit expired. I went there 2 days ago on Friday. And I was told by the officer that was there, I could park my truck up to the garage door. My son could park his Jeep behind. I said, sir, Jeep behind will be on the sidewalk. I said, I'll get a ticket for that, correct? Yes, you will. I said, my car, my husband's car, I said, we have a 2-car garage. I said, he said, well, I suggest you clean your garage. I said, sir, my husband works at UPS, has worked at UPS for 29 years. I said, he no longer works as a mechanic. In our garage, we have his toolbox. I've measured everything out. We have a toolbox out there, snow blower, air compressor, generator, everything human possible. I don't have a shed. And I have nowhere to put the additional car, because my husband just got himself a Harley Davidson. So I don't know how I can go about getting a permanent permit to have him park in the street, because my son's on call for 24/7. I don't know where to go to or what to
And
do.
you have been denied by the police department? Is that?
No, I found out myself because I told they would let me know. I never heard of the permit expired. I went there Friday. They said, nope, can't get a permit. And I said, I was told you I would be notified, but I'm here now.
Well, I'm going to guide you back to the individual behind you.
Okay.
Who's the chief.
Okay.
And let him, he can work with you. I don't know, I can't give you any answers, yes or no, but for sure, it seems like you got an answer, or I'm not sure you did get an answer, but let me have the chief take your number and get back to you, okay?
My answer was to clean my garage.
Clean your garage.
That was
Well,
my answer. Yep.
Okay, well, they do have a standard over there that they have used for decades, so, again, so you say clean the garage, so you were denied?
My garage, I have nowhere to put. I have my husband's Harley Davidson's in my garage. His toolbox, all of our stuff is in the garage. I don't have a shed.
Yep. Again, I would go back to the chief, and then he'll follow up with you. And we're not here to tell you you're going to get it or not
So
get
that's
it.
what I'm
and-
saying. I didn't know where to go, where else to do. I had no
Sure.
clue.
We'll need you to just fill in and then get your number over to the chief, and the chief will give you a call. Okay, Chief Allen? Thank you for your help. Okay, we'll take a couple more. Yes, sir, who else? Yes, ma'am, come on up after him. Just your name and the city you reside in.
David Masha, St. Clair Shores, 30285 Rosebriar.
Yes, sir.
John, could you pass this out to everybody, please? Thank you. So, first of all.
Yes, yep, wait till you get to the mic. Thank you.
Yep, thank you all for doing such a great job. And Cartman Row, thank you for adding the 2 tennis courts. My neighborhood friends like to play tennis and pickleball, so we like to do both, so we'll get it all right there at Cartman Row. So thank you for that decision. Rosebriar Street in Manhattan and Champaign, we had the flood on July 17th. John, thank you for bringing it up, because I was here at the last meeting to ask for support, so thank you. Dave Rebello, thank you for supporting me on the flood also, so that we can do some action. Brian, thank you for calling me. You called me and you said if we get the proposal signed, then you'll get work done at your house. So thank you for that. What I'm here today is to offer my support for the neighborhood. One of the ideas I have is, how can we get more neighborhood support and get the information to the council in a better way? To have support for the neighbor and get the information to you. So I thought about when I go camping. When I go camping, the first site is usually a camp host. And that host usually takes the information from the other campers that are having issues, maybe a loud dog or neighbors keeping them up at night, and they have small kids, they need to get rest. And they would go to the camp host for support, to help them figure out a way to talk to the other neighbors to keep the noise down. The camp host also plays another important role, is it brings unity to the campground. So what I was thinking is, we could do something similar in St. Clair Shores, and I would lead the team. Currently, what I'm doing is in the morning, I'll take a walk, I'll pick up litter on the sidewalks or in the street. Also, I meet the neighbors, and I ask them, what are some of the things that you would like to have council know about? And they would say, oh, Dave, this crack in the street is 5 inches deep. I'm worried about a trip hazard for the kids. I'm worried about my suspension for the cars. Or I have a tree limb that is over the sidewalk ready to fall on the young kids as they walk to school. There's other things too, like the trees, the ordinances. Maybe they have a question with the ordinances. As a neighborhood host, I could work with them on the ordinances to understand them and also bring them to council. Sometimes we'll have the neighborhood person come with the neighborhood host to the meeting so they can explain it better. Like I brought my neighbor with me the last meeting because he has much more damage in his basement from the flood than I had. So he came with me. And also, we could also help out. Dave's already doing his snow removal. But we could also offer other opportunities with the neighborhood host to help the neighbors figure out which ones are the elderly ones or the ones that don't have the ability to shovel the snow or rake the grass or clean their gutters. My neighbor across the street said, hey, Dave, could you come over and fix my gutters? They were partially coming loose. So I said, sure, I'd go over and fix it. She offered me money, but I didn't take it. It's just a neighborhood thing that we can do. But if we have a person, we're not that large of a city. I'm thinking maybe 30 neighborhood hosts could do it. And they would be, I would be leading the team. And then I would like them to come to the meetings, the city council meeting when they can. I'm probably going to come to every one of them. But they can come here and present their neighborhood needs. And then we can really get a handle on the neighborhood. Because I think there's room for improvement. And I just wanted to thank you all. And Dave, I did reach out to you. I need to figure out a way to reach out to the neighbor. If you guys all agree that this would be something that we could work together with, so you could think about it, talk about among each other, and maybe the next council meeting say, yeah, Dave, we'll support you. Because I'm going to need a way to outreach to these people. I thought, Dave, with the newspaper, we could run an ad saying we're looking for volunteers, a neighborhood host in your area. I'm doing between 12 and 13 Mile Road from Harbor to the borderline of St. Clair Shores. So that's about a mile and a half area. But I'm having a ball doing it. So please, I'll come back in 2 weeks. You guys can let me know what your thinking is.
Yep, thank
Okay?
you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Anyone else? Okay. Good evening.
Mayor, council members, my name is Sandy. I live on Harmon Street. I am one of the Harmon Street residences. I've lived there for 30 years with my partner, John Schultz. We live directly across the street.
Okay.
Where you are allowed an approachway to be put in. John couldn't be here tonight. He is extremely upset on how this whole process became. 15 years ago, when Alexander Horning owned the property, they purchased the residential vacant lot, which was then directly across the street from us. It was rezoned to light industrial with the condition that there would be no approachway onto Harmon Street, just for their new parking spaces. We just recently found out at the end of August that a site plan was approved for Grobel's, and it shows an approachway to be put on Harmon Street.
Yes.
What happened, we don't know what transpired from a rezoning with no approach to a new business that came in, and now there's approach that's going to be put on our residential street. We have tried to reach out to every single one of yous. No one has gotten back with us. By email, we're just very...
Hold the clock for a moment. Ma'am, I did go to the home. I did speak to John face to face.
I did as well.
So I have to clarify that. That's not the case. I spoke to him.
That
So
was
did Mr.
before the email, the correspondence was sent out?
It could be, yes, ma'am.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yes, okay, but just to be clear, I spoke to him, and I was on your property and with John, so I just
Okay.
I just want to make sure that that's fair.
Right. After you came to our residence.
Yes.
We sent an email.
Okay, you can begin the clock again. Yes,
Okay.
you're correct.
I have made phone calls. No one has returned my call.
Okay.
No one, not one single council member has responded.
I just talked to you yesterday.
Okay, wait.
I'm
You were
sorry.
supposed to call me today to get a meeting with the city attorney and the city manager in regards to this. This matter, Mr. Mayor, you say is resolved. It is not resolved, okay? The reason John isn't here is he's upset because he has been dismissed and ignored, okay? We came here to find out answers. Why a rezoned with no approach now is an approach with a new business, why there's an approach to be put in on a residential street that has an elementary school on it. It's heavily traveled anyways. You minimize the fact that there's going to be no traffic on Harmon, but there will be traffic on Harmon, even with the one-way in approach. Our problem is it's going to devalue the property value of our home. That is the problem. Not only that, we want answers. How did we go from no approach to approach? Can you provide that for me?
I can't provide 15 years ago. I can only tell you that with Grobel's taking the business and then redoing the whole thing, that they requested a parking, an exit area there.
Okay, then let me bring up one other point.
Yes, ma'am.
That maybe some of yous don't know. Mr. Mayor, when you came to the House.
Yes.
You told John that you guys made a terrible mistake. And so did you, Mr. Frederick. You did say that. You made a terrible, terrible mistake. How are we going to correct this?
Well, when I came and told you that it was a mistake to have that, I agree, and I would stand by that today. And so I went back to Grobel's, and we had meetings to change the configuration and make that angle, make it so that they could, because the biggest concern John had was that they were all going to exit and just, so.
No, he was giving you one example
Okay,
of
so-
what could possibly
I
go
went-
wrong with an approachway put across the street in front of our house.
And I stand by saying that it wasn't correct. We went back, changed it with the angle. You can only come into that short area on Stevens, past that building there, and go in there. There's no exiting, so.
But I think you're all missing the point. Any approach on Harmon Street, right across the street in front of our property, will depreciate the value of our house. You gotta change this. You gotta reverse what you did.
Well, we worked with Grobel's, and we think Grobel worked well with what we were put into place, which has a full driveway there, and now we have visitors only coming in from Stevens, ma'am.
Okay,
No
but
exiting.
the
There'll be no
fact of the
exiting.
matter remains, we went from a rezoning,
Yes.
which was conditioned upon no approach to be put in on Harmon Street, okay? Now, now Grobel's buys it, and there's going to be an approach. Whether it's one way in, one way out, in or out, the fact of the matter is there's still going to be an approach there. This is going to severely affect the value of our property.
I understand your concerns.
So by you saying that this issue is resolved,
I'm not sure I used the word resolved, but if I did use the word, I did.
just when you made your comments earlier, you said this issue was resolved.
Okay.
And it is not.
All right.
We got to come up with something. We got to fix this. We got to correct this. You have to correct this. You guys made the mistake in approving a site plan that should have never been approved with an approach on it.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Anyone else? Commissioner Zinner, is that you? Okay.
Hello, this is Commissioner Barbara Zinner. I live in Harrison Township. What I brought with me is the full board agenda. I'm not going to go through all of it, but it's a concisement of what we do in a month. This is from the end of September because we only do it once a month. I do have a copy for you if you want it, but I'll just hit a couple high points just to give you some information. There's a lot I could go through, but it's late. Just so you have some information, contract with Plant Moran, Real Point Master Service Agreement for the Capital Development Program, consulting service. Plant Moran is just a great group of people who really know numbers, and they've been real helpful with the county. I want to start it, though, saying that I'm a Macomb County Commissioner. I'm not at the state level. I will remember when we worked together at the county, so I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to give you, just so you know. I take care of citizens and do that kind of stuff and vote well for you. That's all. That's the best I can tell you. We also have a capital improvement fund, a capital planning and space needs assessment services. That was a $260,000. The county buildings, there's a lot of buildings, and you have them down here too, or you have several buildings that you've been working on. Well, in the county's old. A lot of the buildings, they're old. Some of the buildings and pictures that we have, they're some of the machinery's held together with strings or something. It's kind of sad to see. So Joe Sabatini is our chairman now, and he said, I think we need a plan so that we can get these buildings together and to where they should be. We had Vicki Wolber speak with us today, and the executive for the budget, kicking that off today. And she said, in fact, in F&O, Ben went around and she said, we need to know how much cement we need to work on, where we need it in the county, where the county actually is, the actual cement. I don't remember the footage, but she said that's $50,000 that we need for that. And I thought, that doesn't seem like the cement's too bad. So we've been accomplishing some things. But, there's a lot of footage in the county and with the different buildings. There's a lot of stuff going on. One of the things for the Shores and St. Clair Shores is, this is the Shores Activity Center. Memo understanding amendment of congregant meals. We have several congregant meals for the areas in the Macomb County that we approved last month. One of the things too is budget for the Sheriff's Department for Axon tasers, the Axon Enterprise tasers. What we went with is $400,000. These tasers are going to last for 10 years, and they'll resupply and battery and whatever we need. Our sheriff's deputies need tasers. I would assume that your Shores Police has them too, but of course I don't know for sure. Under records and public safety, we have community mental health, the opioid settlement, and every city and township will be getting some money, probably not quite yet, though. We have proclamations, but I'm going to skip through that because it's getting late for you. Under presentations, we have Board of Commissioners Casual Day for businesses that help people. For instance, this was a community housing network, and the man granted money to, the program manager was Bob Boyle, the principal director of the fund. That's where the money went. What the workers do in the county is you can give whatever you want. It can be $1, it can be whatever you want, and then every month, we put that money together, and we end up with $600 or $700. It might be even more than that. And then if someone's chosen, they set that up in the beginning of the year of which group of people is going to be on the list, and they get that money. They get a check. They're in the paper, and they're happy to get that for whatever they need. I go through a couple more, but I've had the ding.
Okay.
So anyway, like I say, I have a list for you if you want to go over that, or if any of your.
If you get that to the city clerk, and she'll get it out to us.
All right, thank you to everybody.
Commissioner,
Good to see
thank you. Anyone else? With that, we'll go to the mayor's comments. I don't have any, so a motion to adjourn would be in order. Moved by Mr. Karen, supported by Mr. Frederick. All in favor? Aye. Good night.